G'day, I'm Chris. Welcome back to the channel. This is Flat Tank Journey. Currently I'm playing with my Round Tank 25 model and a 27 model Wedge Tank. Wedge Tank's at my other workshop. Round Tank is here and I'm pointing to it, but you can't see it because to me now. Hey listen, before we get going, what a fantastic response to my request for 9 new subscribers. Last week I was at 691. By the time the video came out, I was more like 695 or 6. But I immediately shot over 700. And shout out to the guy who contacted me to say he was subscriber number 700. That was super. I really appreciate it. I think this morning, and it's Thursday before you see this on Sunday, I'm at 709. I've had a super time. I cannot tell you how good it makes you feel to see the subscriber number tick up every time you check it. Yeah, it's very heartening. It really does make a difference. I watch a lot of channels and they're always, like, comment, subscribe, get going for me. Sadly, they're kind of right, especially in a tiny channel like mine. It really did give me a hoot and a half. Thanks to Pete and Gary and Stuart and Val and John and all the people that have been in touch with me in the last week or a few days. It's been super to talk to you and get your feedback and get your encouragement. All right, on with it. Enough. I've got the oil pump off the 25 disassembled, and I've got an oil pump off the 27 disassembled, and I've got a spare. I assumed it was a 25, but I think this piece is the same on both of them. They all seem to have slightly different lengths that I don't really understand. Maybe it's to do with the length or depth of the tank. Not sure. I believe this is the one that came with the 27, and I believe it's right, but I don't know. If you're worried about me pushing in my glasses, I just got new glasses and I can finally see again. So I've disassembled these and I've roughly given them a rough clean, and I emphasise the rough. I'm going to try and rebuild them and put them back together, and then we're going to fit one firstly to the 25 because that's where I am, and I'll take the other one home. G'day, it's the day before this video is supposed to come out, and I'm just breaking into the video to let you know I've changed the way things are. The first part of the footage was so corrupt that it's just not usable. The sound's awful, the vision is awful, and I don't really know what went wrong, but it's bad. So you're about to watch video that's decent with decent sound of me putting a new washer and giving a little rebuild to this oil pump. The bit you're missing is the rebuild of the 1927 Wedge Tank oil pump. Now, as it turns out, that was a saga, and so if you hear me referring to the saga and it being a difficult day, that's what I'm referring to. I hope you enjoyed this bit. So, this is the one off the 25. I've already put a fibre washer in there and felt good about it. So, I need to replace the washer. So, there's a cute little brass nut on the bottom. That you undo, and it does come undone. Then off comes the larger washer, and there's the remains of your leather washer, which breaks apart in your fingers. You check that your new washer is the right size, and maybe this bigger one is better. Yeah, let's use the bigger one. I don't know why they're sized, but they are a bit.
Then you put that back together. And this is all a bit greasy, so it's a little bit difficult to handle. Not the end of the world. Gee, the threads are beaten up on the top of this. Not really sure why, but they are. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Now, I always find this is the difficult bit. Getting the washer to agree to go back in the hole. And you can buy these washers. I forget where I got mine. I think once I push it past the thread, it'll be more cooperative. At least I hope so. Yeah, there we go. Now, I need to get that through that hole, and I'd like it to go the first time, but I'm not quite that foolish. So I'm going to turn you off and bring you back when I've got it through the hole. I'm through. Now this one has got a leather or rubber gaskety washer in there. I need to pull that apart and others apart to see if there's others with it. Is that a fixture on all of them? Don't know. Maybe to stop them leaking. Now, I've got my Richard torch on. My Richard torch worked really well, so that was super. And it did take me about, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes to get that right. Now, I'm going to put that collar back on. I don't know what you call that. I hope you can see this. And I hope I can edit this down to something that's semi-plausible for you to watch. Good Lord. All right, I haven't done the bearing in this one, or the nut. So the bearing, 3/16. And when I had this apart, you can see the seat that the bearing sits in. And you can tap it down. And I need to find a spring for that. And I'm sure I've got springs at home. So I don't think it'll be a huge issue. I was going to change screws for a screw with a little stub on the end of it, and see if that screw would screw into there. And it does, I think. Again, this stuff is so old and so temperamental. There we go. That works. I'm going to put that screw into there because I don't want to lose it. Super. So that's a screw in and the ball in. So I'm not going to lose the ball or the screw. And then I've got this threaded piece, but wow, the threads are beat up something terrible. Does thread on and does work. Wow. Suck and blow. Spring goes back in like that. Oops, spring goes back in. This one's got a fair bit of tension about it. And I'm hoping that this one will screw together better, mainly because I didn't beat it up. But again, you need to get everything square. And it just doesn't like screwing back in. Oh dear. What a day. The other problem is it's on a spring and the spring doesn't want to turn, and they give you absolutely nothing to turn these brutes with. Oh dear. Let me try and tighten this up and we'll look when I'm done. Now, it's only been a minute or two. The bottom tightened up really easily. I used a medium-sized pair of multi-grips and got a light grip. And I did have a light grip of the brass and gave it a turn. And you could hear the spring clicking and rubbing as it turned around. It was the spring really preventing it from turning smoothly. And you know, again, I'm going to call that a design flaw of the whole thing. But it's 1925, isn't it? Now, the stupid fitting that locks against the screw is locked where it's going to be. And then the screw's locked in. Maybe that's, I don't know, that's a design feature maybe. Don't know. Now, there it is. It's back together. It's been a saga. Wow. And in theory, you can push that down and it'll clip over the top. But this one's not gonna. This one's not gonna. So, I don't know why it doesn't clip over. The clip's worn or the brass is worn. And I suspect it's the top piece that's worn a little. And I could put in the lathe and I could give it a little tune up to tune the edge just a little bit. Or I could use a very small file and give it a little tune. I'm not super worried. Listen, you need to pump the oil a fair bit like a madman. Thank God it's together. Holy cow, that's been a saga. That will screw back onto there. And I've got one of those that will screw onto there, I think. Doesn't matter. Wow, what a saga for 2 oil pumps. One rebuilt oil pump, new washer, new fibre washer, and, you know, in theory, it should work. I actually think in practice it will work. Yeah, we're there. Now, I could make a little gasket for underneath that. Actually, I think one of them did have a gasket. All right, there was a rubber washer. There's actually 2 under here. Not sure there should be 2. But you know what? I'm going to take that leather washer, it is, and pop it back in there. And that'll be a winner. I suspect that that leather washer could be original. Wow. So these are 2 BA screws or bolts or whatever you want to call them. And I think I bought, 50 of them to get 3 the first time. And I think I'm 3 or 4 pumps in, so I'm about 10, I'm about a dozen in. I think I'll be 15 in after these 2. I've still got a few left. You can buy them on eBay and hobby sites, but I think they're 2 BA. Just check yours though, because, I don't know, these bikes are weird. Well, I didn't pay a lot of money for them. That was the bonus. You pay a bit of postage, but don't you always? All right, I need to now patiently stand here with the shifter because I don't actually have the right size socket for that. I can tighten it up a little bit, but I can't tighten them all the way. I took the bowl off to tighten this one up, this back one. It was a bit tight. Could have paint in the hole or anything. Back on it goes, and down it goes. Rightio. It looks pretty good. Have a look. Nothing better than a bit of an up close and personal. There it is. Plunges up. Can't get it down. Well, can get it down, but can't get it to stay down. I suspect the nut or the cap on the top is a knob off an old chest of drawers or something weird. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. It looks great. I'm really pleased to have it. They are expensive to buy. I am missing the little, there's a holder there for that little oil regulator that you can spin around and decide how much oil's going to feed through. So I might have to bodge something together, or this vibrates like a demon and you end up adjusting the oil to none or to too much and it falls out. Don't ask me how I know. I need to get on to oil pipes, but I had to order copper pipe because I couldn't get any in my hometown, so it's on the way. Rightio, I need to call stumps on my work for the week. I have done a little bit of other work and that went in Wednesday's video. And so today's work is just the oil pumps. And they ended up being a bit of a saga, if I'm honest. They should have been easier work than they were, but they weren't. I'm sorry about all the stop-start, but it is what it is. Hey, listen, for the people that contacted me after I put up the video of the tank, telling me not to be hard on myself, it's my nature to be critical of myself. That's just how I am. However, I am really, really pleased. Don't get me wrong. This is probably better than I thought I could do. And I'm really, really pleased. So for the people who are worried that I was too hard on myself and I should ease up a bit, I'm okay. If I sounded downtrodden, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I'm shooting this in real time, a bit like these pumps, you watched me in real time do that. I do get down. So I'm really thrilled with the tank. I'm really thrilled with the bike. The bike's really good. I've followed up on the wheels and haven't heard back. And I've followed up on the nickel plating. And I'm anxious as hell about the nickel plating because the company's changed hands. And I have a few reservations. Anyway, I think the nickel plating will be soon. And then the tub of new parts, brand new, that I've been collecting, will all be able to go on. And we'll see another transformation. In the meantime, hey, if you want to subscribe, make my day and subscribe because that's really, I get chuffed over that. If you want to get in touch and say g'day, tell me your name and where you're from, I'm really thrilled about that too because we're a bit of a global community. In the end, I hope you're having a good weekend. Cheers.